AI is moving at this absolutely dizzying pace, but the rules we have to keep it safe, what we call governance, risk, and compliance, or GRC, they're kind of stuck in the slow lane. So today, we're going to dig into why this massive gap is forcing a huge and frankly urgent change in how we govern all this new tech.
Yeah, this quote it nails the problem, doesn't it? There's this massive disconnect between how fast AI is innovating and how fast we're able to keep an eye on it. This tension, it's one of the biggest challenges businesses are facing right now. So, just how big is this gap, really? Okay, picture this. It's 2026. You're walking the floor of a huge tech conference, and everywhere you turn, the buzz is about AI agents, autonomous systems. The future is definitely here. But the rule books that companies are using to manage all this, they feel like they were written for a totally different era. And this, right here, this just lays it all out so clearly. Over on the left, you've got the AI world. We're talking weekly model updates, brand new behaviors popping up all the time. And on the right, that's traditional GRC, chugging along with its annual risk assessments and quarterly checks. It's not even a fair fight. It's like a bullet train racing against someone, well, walking.
I mean, this analogy is just perfect. It shows you how absurd the situation is. You simply cannot govern something that's changing by the minute with a process that updates once a year. You're not just going to be lost. You're going to be in some real trouble.
So, look, it's easy to just say, oh, GRC teams are too slow. But that's not really the whole story. The truth is, the very thing we're trying to govern has completely changed. It's more like the entire ground has shifted right under our feet.
See, we're not talking about governing some static piece of software anymore. That's old news. The new unit of governance is what's called a socio-technical AI system. Think about that. It's the model, the data, the code pipelines, the prompts people use, even how humans are keeping an eye on it. All of these pieces are constantly moving and evolving together.
And if you don't adapt, well, here's what happens. Your whole governance program just becomes a joke. It turns into a series of checkboxes that everybody knows are meaningless, so the engineering teams just find ways to work around them to get their job done. And that's exactly where the real risks start to hide.
But okay, it's not all doom and gloom here. The cool part is, the solutions aren't some sci-fi dream. They're real and they're here now. If you went to any of those big tech conferences today, you'd see a whole floor of companies with tools ready to go. We're talking about platforms that can monitor AI live using real-time data, tools that automatically pull together all the evidence you need for an audit. We're talking about guardrails that can actually stop a bad output from happening in real time. And even better, building the safety controls right into the development process itself, so it's not some annoying thing you do at the very end. Let me say that again. This stuff exists right now. These aren't just ideas on a whiteboard. They are real tools ready for production. So the challenge isn't a lack of technology. The real question is, are our organizations actually ready to use them?
So the big question is, how do you actually do it? How do you modernize your program to keep up? All right, let's break down a practical playbook for getting this done. First things first, we got to be honest about the trade-offs. The upsides here are huge. You get governance that's actually aligned with how engineers work, audit trails that are automated and super strong, and way better relationships with your tech teams. But let's be real, it's not free. It's going to require new skills, a shift to trusting automated evidence, and getting crystal clear on who owns what. All right, you ready? Here are the 5 big priorities you need to focus on. Number 1, you need a continuous inventory of your AI. You have to know what you have and which ones are high risk. 2, traceability. You need to be able to see every change, who made it, and why. 3, pre-deployment checks. Super important, prove it safe before it gets out into the wild. 4, runtime monitoring. You have to watch these systems live in production and be ready to jump in if something goes wrong. And finally, number 5, you need smarter checks for any AI tools you're buying from other companies.
And the best part? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The NIST AI Risk Management Framework is an amazing resource. It gives you a solid, practical backbone to help organize all these controls and actually put them into practice.
So when you boil it all down, it really comes to a pretty stark choice. When it comes to governing AI, you either adapt to this new high-speed reality or you're gonna get left behind. I love this quote because it says everything. The idea of GRC, of governance, isn't going away. In fact, it's more important than ever. But the old way of doing it,
That slow, static, just check the box approach? Yeah, that's what's becoming obsolete. It just can't keep up.
So GRC is standing at a crossroads. There are two paths forward. Path 1, it steps up and becomes a strategic partner that actually helps the company innovate quickly and safely. Path 2, it stays a slow, bureaucratic hurdle that frustrated teams just find a way around, leaving the whole company exposed to risk.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one you need to ask yourself and your teams. Take a really honest look at your own organization. Is your governance program actually ready for the speed and complexity of AI right now? Or are you still trying to navigate this brand new, constantly changing city with a map from 2018?